So team, welcome all to the day 3. We started with the crowd testing, basics of manual and how we want to get going. In day 2, we played around with API and Postman basics. We tried to create some requests and send responses and so on. Today we'll do some UI testing team. So I want to ask you all, and please feel free to raise your hand so I can unmute you, anyone. What is the basic difference between API versus UI testing? Where does it differ? What are the main areas, or what is it different about team? Why does the industry talk about two different things altogether? Anyone would like to answer? I'm just gonna unmute everyone who's raised their hand, please. And you are welcome to speak. Anyone wants to be unmuted, please raise your hand. So I'll unmute you in the GoToWebinar.
So,
Yes, please.
Hello,
hi,
everyone.
Karthik.
Oh,
Yeah, go ahead.
okay, thanks. So, basically what I understand is API, whatever the backend things work, that works on the API, whereas for the UI, it's the front end of the application, like the user interface, as we say, as the name suggests.
Okay,
Yeah, to the same thing, I just want to add a couple of points. Like
sure.
when we are testing the API, it's like whatever it's coming to the front end, we are testing ahead of the game, I would say.
Okay.
And front end testing is basically we are covering all how the look and feel and how user friendly the application is
Mm-hmm.
and navigation parts and all the components, I would say.
Mm-hmm. Very nice.
Yeah, that's about it.
Okay, very good. Very nice perspectives. What else? Who else, please? I have a few more hands raised. And it's okay to keep your hands raised if you want to be unmuted from your end. Who else, team? Whatever we are aware, we are only trying to move towards perfection by knowledge. So whatever you are aware today is good.
Yeah, Karthik, can I?
Go ahead.
Yeah. User interface is basically application what we can see. Suppose if we do perform some, I will take with an example. Suppose if we have a login page, you can see the login and where we can enter the inputs. Like that is the user interface where the end users can see all the things where you can enter the input. This user interface, application programming interface is the layer between the client and the database in between. So when we do some anything, if you perform any action in the input, that will send to the request to the database, and the request will go to the user interface, and then it will perform some operation, and then it will go to the database, then it will get the output, and then it will come back to the client. Maybe I failed to explain, but what I have in my mind. But the application programming interface is the layer between. It is in between the database and the user interface.
Okay, all right.
One more point too. I just got it, Karthik. Like I don't know if I'm right or wrong. Like I would say, like API is a middleware between like a server and client. Between it acts as a middleware. It's an interface between.
It's an application server. It's not database server. Am I right?
Yeah, application.
It's an application server, not database server.
Yeah, application. It's a middleware between whatever the request we are sending from the front end. I would say like browser. From the browser, if we are sending any request, Say I'm searching something on Google, that's a request. And in between, multiple APIs might be there, and that request goes through the API and it
Okay.
hits the server, and the response we are getting from the browser is what the response, I would say. I'm not sure if I'm right or wrong
Yeah,
my understanding.
it's like a three-tier architecture, the client and application server and
Yeah,
database server.
that's correct. Yeah.
And the user can access the user interface from the client, and the request will go to the application server. Then the action will be performed, and then it will go to the data, connect to the database, and it will take the
Which is
response.
two
And
tier? Which is three tier? You're saying?
I don't know.
Okay.
It's a three-tier, right?
All right. So again, team, these are some of the aspects that we will go deeper into when we do more API testing with tools. We'll go deeper with Java as assured. Let me ask you these basic questions. Maybe based on that, it'll be a little bit more clear what we're trying to get to. Um, which is faster, API test or a UI test?
API.
API is faster.
Okay. Now let me ask you the other question. Does Can I do what I do in UI testing through API testing?
Yeah, we
Okay,
can do.
Yes, but
let's.
you'll get a slower response.
Mm. Can we do some parts of API testing through UI testing?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Yes, there's some commonalities. There's some
Oh,
certain things you can do. There are certain things you can do. Certain things you can do only via API. Certain things you can do only via UI, GUI, and so on. Now, why do you think it's faster or slower, T?
Because API's response is much faster when we compare to UI.
Okay, but why?
There is no interface involved in that.
Why
Let
should
me
an
say.
interface take time? What do you, so how do you open a UI?
We need a browser.
That's our web UI, correct.
Yeah,
Now, how about it could be web or mobile?
yeah, that's true. For
Okay,
anything, we need the internet.
yes. Now, how do you open a API?
For some APIs, we do need internet. For some of them, we don't need internet.
Not about internet, not just about the network. I'm
You
talking
need
about,
something like Postman.
correct.
You need
You
you
need
need a
some other
tool.
tool and so on. Or you can also do through programming.
Yeah,
For us to be very, very clear about these ideas, let me talk about this. I was trying to draw an diagram also. So let us say this is me. I have an application. Oops, where is my paint? Draw. Let's change the color for a second. I have an application, okay? And this is me. Now, I will constantly interact with the application. For example, what? When I talk about UI, I will say click on this particular spot in the application, type somewhere, or read a text. And I'll again say where in the application. The location much more visually or appearance in overall, correct?
Yes.
When it comes to API, all we are doing is we are sending what, team? A packet of request, and we're getting maybe a packet of response. So in your UI, what you have is a HTML file, correct? That has to get loaded, not for a mobile, but at least for the other. In an API, what is the main data that gets interchanged? So from, and when we're talking about API, we talk about maybe from one application, sorry, here, and then here. So I'll say there's an app one, there's an app two. for this app 1 to be able to interact with this app 2, it needs to send a request. Then the app 2 will decide what kind of a response it will send back. Yes, I agree. No, I don't agree. I don't know who you are. I will send it to someone else. All of this in 100, 200, 300, 400, 500 series codes are status codes. Now, tell me again, why is it slow? Which is slower? Which is faster, and why? Let's think
When
through
it
that.
comes to the UI, we have to test each and every aspect like components or browse
Okay.
navigations,
So
everything.
now let's look here. I will take my postman. All right. And can I erase this drawing team? There's nothing big also in it. Now in this, which one did I create anything? No, I think there are a few requests here. Let's see this collection. Tick, 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 tick. Okay, there's get. Now see, I have get and google.com, https://google.com. That's my URL. So when I say send, what will I get as a response? I'm not sending any API command, or it has to be an API URL. Without any data, I'm sending it here, google.com. And I get it basic 200 OK and a body also. Correct? So you
Mm.
can also do some basic operations on any web application and see if it is working or not. Is it interacting back with us? Are we able to send something, get something? Even for a web application, first you send a URL through a browser. The application will load. Then if you click or slide or browse or type, then it will change it to another state. So what holds the data? What is the format in which data is held in API?
JSON format, key value
JSON.
pairs.
Okay, good. So in a JSON format, what is the date key value pair? Exactly, very well said. So JavaScript object notation, key value pair. We get a key and a value through which I'm able to navigate and say what key, what is the value for it. And I'm able to get all the information. Now, how does a HTML page know how that should look for us? For example, I go to anyaught.com/x or test one of these versions. So this is my UI. Now in this, where am I? Sorry, someone hung. Key value pair. So here, how is it in a web page? HTML team,
Yeah.
hypertext markup language. Now, can anyone tell me how big will this HTML file be?
Like exactly the size or
Correct. The file size of a .html. So for example, I right click here and I say save as, not web page complete. I'll just say web page HTML only. And let me put it somewhere on the desktop and say login AnyAUT, yeah, whatever, save. How big is this file now, team? Approximately.
maybe about some 250 KB, something like that.
Anyone else? Sorry, I had a few hands raised. I didn't unmute you guys. How big will a simple HTML file be? But there are images and all this, correct? Everyone? And it's not JSON as JASON, please. It's JSON as JSON, JavaScript object notation. All right. So it's not going to be a very heavy file. It'll be about maybe 5 KB, 2 KB, 10 KB, 25 KB in this case. There you go. Did you see this? The size of it. JSON file could be even more smaller. But now, if I try and open this with Notepad, mm, general notepad. I'm not editing, I'm just seeing. So there's plenty of text in it. There's a lot of text, and that is all that it requires. Then so are we saying that all these images, everything that we see is in the 25 kilobytes?
Yes.
No.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Mm.
So it is just saying the basic skeleton raw format. And it is saying,
Ah.
oh, you want a styling, then go download the CSS file. You want fonts, go download from here. If you want an image, go download from somewhere else. Like this img logo AnyAUT.png. That itself could be even half an MB or 5 MB, I don't know. Or it may not be 5 MB for a logo, but that itself is a size. Now let's say, for example, I right click here and say save image as. And I say logo PNG, save it. How big is this? Let's see. This is 83 kilobytes, the .png file. So a HTML file loads every component team one by one. It renders everything. There will be some JavaScripts. It may link us to getting something from a different website and so on. And finally, it comes out visually out here for us to take a look at as to what it is there. And hence, it takes lot more time. So every image, every font, CSS, any other applications external that it needs to interact, all of this or JavaScripts, they take time to load as well and time to locally download on your machine and render on the browser. Is that being clear? Both are trying to connect or communicate within the application programming interface or even user interface. Who is connecting in application programming interface? Application. That is the A. Who is connecting here in user interface? User. That is the U. So when user has to see, he or she also needs to look at all those details. Now see, when I did in Postman a simple get call to google.com, what did it give me as a return? It did not give me a JSON file. It gave me an entire HTML file. Now, if I put it here, change the URL out here and say now this is anyaunt.com/x and now send, it'll give me a different HTML file. It's not a direct API request, but it's still connecting to the server. So APIs are much more faster because sometimes just the URL that we send, you can also send in data, but the output is coming as a simple flat file. It's either JSON data or an HTML data, whatever you're getting, or XML, and that is about it. When you have to load the UI, you also have to load the CSS, images, videos, whatever is required, and then your local browser will be able to show it to you. And that's why it takes longer. So when it comes to application testing team, you'll see that there are, you can split between UI and API testing, not just because of the speed, but because of what features or where they can go. So as you go deeper, remember these basic facts there, please, that both are important and how you can still check with your application on the basic functionalities. In fact, if you have your UI forms and so on, you can do form submissions. If you don't have a UI form, you can also do through API form submission. So these are things that we have to kind of keep learning more advanced onto it, everyone. All right. We are in the day 3. I want you to continue to have very good hands-on on a lot of these technologies, but I will not expose you to any coding yet. But yes, lot of tools and skills that we need to use. So are we ready to do automation testing, everyone? I know we went through AnyAUT a little bit. I will talk about it more. I want you to write a few tests even in AnyAUT. So we've done Postman. We will see more of Postman from the team's perspective. Let's also start playing with UI testing, so not just the API part, and how we can combinedly build some scenarios with ease without any too much of complexity. There's so much technology in today's world, team, that everyone does not have to be a creator of new technology. We can try and find ways in which there's how to use the existing technology to the fullest potential. That is what employers are looking at. How many tools can we learn, correctly implement through understanding the foundations? Ting, ting,
Well, you
ting.
had
What's
us leave
next?
off the other day
Mm,
with creating
mhm,
15 requests
mhm.
with the API, and we stopped there.
Correct.
And I don't know what
So,
to do from that point forward.
right. So first, let's go back to our Postman, everyone. I would like to look at if anyone has made progress. We were creating a few tests. I can see your collection. We can get a basic understanding, execute. Then we will also do some UI testing after that. That's the plan for today. So
Okay,
let me see who wants to be the presenter.
I'll share.
Sure, great, thank you.
Let
Let
me
me
bring this
search for
over.
your name.
Lori.
Yes, got you there. Make
Okay, let me get
presenter.
this over. And I created, can you see my screen?
Yes,
Okay, this is what I created at what you told us to do.
excellent.
This
So that's a
too,
good.
and then I copied all these in from the
Recrest.in
yes, from the
website.
thank you for the request,
Mhm.
and I'm not sure what to do from this point forward. I ran
To
them
be,
and I saved them, but I don't know what else to do now. Now I
that's
see the
brilliant.
run button, but I don't know what
Yeah,
to do.
you've done a phenomenal job by getting them there to begin with. So
Thank you.
great job.
Thank you.
What is important, team, is from an API testing perspective, it'll take us maybe another week or so to focus and go deeper into few areas. One, the type of commands. What does get, put, post, push, delete do? The
Right, and
differences there,
that
the subtle
patch.
one. Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
The second is what kind of a requests that we send, what responses we get, how we monitor them. Third are the status codes, 200, 400, 500, 100, 300 series. What do they mean? And being able to handle them manually to begin with. And then it is your overall collection in what flow and so on. How did we organize and put everything? So this is very good. So Laurie, can you quickly guide us through these 15 APIs? Very well named, very well organized, a very good collection. Good job. Thank you.
This is the get list users,
Mm,
and in here I put the body,
no.
Jason.
Did we put a body for this?
I did. We didn't do it on the first ones, but I did it. These first
Mm.
few didn't have it, but I put them in anyway. And then
So,
you click send.
all right. Now, let's look at request.in and see get list users. Does it require any input data to go as part of the request itself, the website? Let's go to the URL.
What do you want? What do you mean? I'm sorry.
You had the website request.in on the UI
Yeah.
browser.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to that. This one there, get list of users. That's the first one.
Yep. Get list of
Great.
users.
All right. So do you notice under request, it is blank?
Yes.
So there is no input data going into the request.
Correct. And I did that myself by clicking on this. I thought, okay, let me put some input.
Sure. So what
Now I
your
know. Now I know
API
I didn't
call,
do that.
yeah. So what our API call did is it ignored. You sent it, but it wasn't necessary.
I see. And that
Yes,
is applicable to these as well.
correct. But you go to post,
Right. And that's where I have them.
correct.
And I just took the initiative. I thought you meant put the body in for these as well, but I didn't understand that completely. Thank you for explaining it.
Sure. So there's a request body and there's a response body.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I just have to press a button, but sometimes with pressing the button, I also have to give some more details to it.
Okay.
So when we are fetching get, you will see, we're getting the details out of a request sent. And
Mm-hmm.
so there's nothing as a body that is going into these get commands right now.
I see. Okay. So the get commands don't require anything in the
Don't
body.
not necessarily all, but we're not sending
Most.
anything in these. But
I see.
usually it is then none of the most of them won't take it because only post, put, patch require some data. So
Like
in your
this.
yes,
Create.
correct.
Okay.
So if I'm trying to create something and I don't have data, then it'll have a challenge input
I see.
from the request.
I see.
But definitely when we send it, we'll get some response. Sometimes it could be an empty data, or it could be a token key, or it could be a failure, whatever error message that
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
comes back as a response body.
And this was create.
Right.
And that's the correct
Now,
response.
yes, I actually had some literature also team that I wanted to go in. Uh, team, just for the perspective that when we do testing, there is this API testing, what we're seeing, and we can go a little deeper into it. Then there is mobile app testing, and there is UI testing, more browser based testing too. So I want us to kind of get comfortable in these as of now at the very beginning, high level, so we can start going deeper into them. So I think this is a good start. We can go deeper into the CRUD operations, what basically each of them do. But definitely what you see from Laurie's system on Postman, the 15 API calls on the collection that she created, please do that, test it, and keep those with you. They're very, they give you a lot of data to play around with as you experiment.
Well, I'm not sure how to experiment with these and play with these because I'm like afraid
Mm-hmm.
to screw something up because I don't know what I'm doing.
Sure. So this is a test application. So you can
Correct.
play around with it as much as you want.
Okay.
Even if you're saying create a user or delete a user, it is only doing very temporary changes to the database or a dummy database,
Okay.
which is still there as a database, but it is not something that reflects for anyone else.
What
So
this is my concern is that
mhm,
I am only knowledgeable of this. This is
mhm.
all I know how to do. Are we supposed to know how to do more when we get on the job?
Um,
Yes.
so
That's your
good
answer.
question.
Yes.
So let's look at first the HTTP method, the command that we're saying. Okay, get is to read something.
Mm-hmm.
So when we want to read from a different application that will give us data back.
Okay.
Put is where we are doing an update or replacing something.
Okay.
So you already see some data that is there and you're trying to put some data into it.
Mm-hmm.
The first one is basically your post. Post basically says that you're creating a new resource.
Okay.
This enters a record in the database as a new row or line, whatever we put as a post.
It's a
So
new
you're
row or line.
correct.
Okay.
So your put, which is next to it, will basically look at an existing resource and update that resource. Click on the put there, please. Okay, so here we're taking, what are we doing here? Put, just scroll up. What is this request about? Updating a user, I guess.
No username.
Yeah, I think
Job.
username or job we're changing.
Yeah.
One of those. So we're saying find the name called
Yeah.
Morpheus, which is
Okay.
actually user2, and change the job. Could be anything,
Correct.
but that's my new data package. So it will find the resource and update. That is put. Your
Well, if
delete
you look
is
at this, the
basically,
name is the name. I'm sorry to interrupt you. The name is the same. The job is the same too.
so okay, because the left one is your input data,
Mm-hmm.
the right one came as output.
Correct.
Now
At the
let's go to this put in your Postman and play with it.
okay. And do what?
Let's go back to Postman.
Oh, go back to Postman. I'm sorry.
Yes, please, no problem.
And we'll go to our. Let me bring this back up. There are put update.
Yes. Is that the one?
And
Where's your
yes,
body here?
here's my body. This is the results.
Okay,
Let me
so
open
that's
up the
your output
body.
body. Yeah,
Yeah, here's
your
the input.
request body. And change that name to, let's say, XYZ. I don't know what will happen now.
Okay.
Users to. What is this users to URL? So
I
that is
don't
the
know.
other thing I need to be aware. No problem. Let's send. Let's test. So that's what I'm saying, play around. So this is my playing.
I see. Okay.
Yeah. So I don't even, so it didn't find anything, but it put. So even though it didn't find, so if it doesn't find, it's going to add that new resource there.
Correct. Okay.
Now, so just the basic clarities on those methods, what they do, what input data I need to send, what output data I get.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have the patch, which is the next one. So in your patch, again, it is just like you're putting or like modifying.
Mm-hmm.
What patch basically does is it goes to the correct choice for whenever you want to do for partially updating an existing resource. So if the resource already exists, then we do patch. Now, for this specific one, if okay, so how do I say this? In a record, there could be many fields, whatever I have. So when I do patch, I can update specific things on a resource, only the name or job and so on. When I do a put, it'll take the entire row or data set and put it there. So it'll change whatever we give there. The where do we use, how do we use? We need to practice a lot of these on different applications team. That is very important from next steps of API.
So this,
Now,
I could
mhm,
change the job. I could change the job, right?
correct. You could
Correct?
change. Yes,
Okay.
but I don't know if the application will accept it or not. So change and try, please.
Okay.
So it's also important as to how the APIs have been programmed with applications so we can know what are the guiding rules. Did it do it?
No, let me send. I don't know if I spelled it right. No, I didn't spell it correctly.
You don't need to, you're
Oops.
just testing anyways.
Okay.
Everything is okay.
Here, tester. Took it.
Yeah.
Okay, it liked
So
it.
yeah, I mean, it's not, it is, this particular application could be very soft because it is letting every user play with it. So even if
Ah,
you say add a new user, you will say that, oh, single resource or user added or created. But if you go and search for it again, you'll not find.
Hmm.
It's just a dummy database. It's just transactions that it's performing there.
I see. Okay.
So now the next most important thing after, how the API mapping is, to be able to do the same using Java REST Assured, using the programming. And in that, I specifically will be able to dig deeper and go into what is the name. If the job is this, do something. If the name is do this, do something. If the status code is 200, do something. So you can write a lot of post actions as to what should happen if my API gave me this response. So that's a Java REST Assured, what we can do. So there we can write a series of steps as a flow. Okay, I'm expecting a user created, a user to be able to log in, a user be able to change profiles, a user be able to update or put some new records, user be able to delete something, and user is able to log out, so and so. All of this as a story,
Are you going to show us how to do that?
slowly. So
Okay.
we have a one full week where we'll go through a lot of Java REST Assured testing and
Mm,
API testing. So
okay.
we're starting with the basics on it as of now.
Okay.
So this is a good start for us. Okay.
Hmm.
All right. So team, I want you all to get at least to this level on API, get the basic hand on it, hold on it, and you're able to write some Postman queries. Because we also have prepared an Excel based tool that is very similar to Postman that you may be getting to do tomorrow. That's also there in GitHub. I'll make you download and do it. Before that, I also want to make sure that we're getting going on UI team. We also have to download a mobile app another day, maybe tomorrow or day after, and start talking how do we test mobile applications. There's a lot of OTT kind of applications also that will come, but gaming app, regular social apps, business apps, OTT apps, we'll have to look at from mobile too. Now, let's go back to getting you all to UI testing through AnyAUT. If there are any other questions before that on those simple activities, exercises that we had in Postman, let me know, please.
Yeah, Karthik, I have one doubt. Like last week, I mean, when we executed all these requests,
Mhm.
the response was this request does not have any test. When we viewed the summary, I'm
Correct.
Oh,
still getting the same response. But when I look at the status codes and everything is working fine, except the note says this request does not have any test. And when I go to that
it-
post thing, the
mm,
data is not there, like body, which I'm supposed to get the response, right? Body. There,
yes.
there it says the response body was not logged.
Okay. So number one, I don't think we have done any testing here. We're only manually testing as to what we are getting. So
Okay.
that is where I said, when we do Java or any programming with it, even Py requests, Python requests, and responses, we will be able to then put some parameters easily. So I don't want to use Postman all the way to expert it. Just that what
Oh,
it can do, but the programming and real testing, let's do it at a code level.
okay.
So
Okay.
I've not gone there. But still, when you do a API command, you will get a body if it is available.
No,
Um,
like in the
Bodies that
connection
cannot be.
collection, should I share the screen?
Yes, please.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's Sandhya.
Move mine.
Yeah, yes, Karthik, Sandhya.
1 second, please. There you go. I'm a presenter. And absolutely, team. I want to take you along with this program. So if there are questions, queries that we want to verify, let's go through. The only thing that I'm not teaching is anything a little bit more advanced for our current day. But yes, let's see which one, please.
Now, why does the screen have view summary and run again?
Sorry?
Your screen has view summary and run again and mine doesn't. How come?
That's once. So you do as well.
I don't
Maybe
see.
But
after you execute all of them.
yes. And I think there's also the screen dimension thing. I believe, Laurie, you are using it on a system as a
Local. Yeah.
desktop application, and this is on the web or cloud.
Okay. Because I just ran them and I don't have summary and run again.
Okay. Oh, okay. You're saying which, so which is the one which did not have, please?
Post request.
Let's see which one.
It's login success.
Okay. So if I run it individually,
Individually, it's working.
you're expected to get a token,
Yeah, yeah,
correct? So when you gave the credentials of a username password. Now
yes.
the same one when we're doing it through the overall collections.
Yeah, when I'm doing as a collection, it's not, this is what I'm getting the response.
But it says no environment just now. Just do a run again. What? Just run again. The blue button. Yeah. Oops. Yes.
Should I select any of these or no need, right?
Just click on save responses. The first checkbox. And it doesn't say passed or failed also, is it?
Only the status codes it's giving. They're on the right, to the right.
Yes.
It says bad user. So all these are working as expected. But the only thing is the response wise, it's not coming anything. Yeah, here it's coming. Get, I see.
1 second. Okay. So you see a response body for get. So that is correct. Why is it?
For post. Okay, this time I got it. Okay, good.
Okay. And wait, 1 second.
Yeah,
Just focus on any one, please.
okay.
Start from the first one, request URL.
Here?
Anything. No, no, no. Come down to post, any of the
Okay,
post.
okay, okay.
And let's go through all those 5. So you see the 3 requests and the 2 responses. That's a URL, request header. Show me that. Okay, so that's the default header. There's nothing that we put there. Come down, please. Request body. Show me that, please. Did you put anything in the body?
Yeah, for
Right.
post
So
I did. Yeah.
correct. So this is your request body. So those 3 are your requests that you sent across.
Yeah.
Now let's look at your response headers. So this is the default that we get. Where is this? Okay, so everything is there.
This is the
And
body.
then your request response body, right? Now just check for the put and delete also, please. Put patch delete 12, 13, 14. Yeah, yeah, next. And team, a
So,
lot about when we talk about quality assurance and so on, there are terms that we add with it called analyst and an engineer. And then as an analyst and engineer, we have to find our ways around tools. They usually, most of the tools will give us all the data and information to be able to look deeper and find out what is working, what is not working, and so on. So we can easily research on them. Has headers and then body, please. Everything is good here.
Yeah, everything is fine.
Okay, so the issue that you had is not there right now. You're able to see.
No. Now I can see. I don't know. Evening also
And we didn't
exited.
do anything different.
Nothing.
Okay, so I'm sure, I don't know if maybe it was not run or
Maybe this like the green symbol, it's not there, I believe. A data in this workspace is backed
so
up.
after you finished your execution of this API commands or requests, you got a lot of responses, and we should be able to save that also, correct?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't
And I know
save.
there are premium features. I don't know how many are premium and not, but I think this
Okay,
is good enough.
okay. Yeah, thank you, Karthik. Just I don't know, somehow
No problem.
earlier it didn't exceed it. Yeah.
Sure, no problem. You're welcome. All right, so team, let's do AnyAUT, please. I want you to get started there. We did download last time. How many of you still have access to it? How many of you downloaded it onto your machine? I'll quickly show you the URL and give it to you. I want you all to start working because we will do some element identification basics of automation with Selenium in it.
I have
So,
downloaded, but
okay,
only thing is, as I mentioned, the memory is the problem.
And I don't have anything downloaded
okay.
aside Postman and the AnyUAT. Well, just Postman. Yeah, and the AnyUAT. I didn't download anything
AnyUAT,
else. Yeah.
AnyUAT is what I
Yes.
wanted. So
Yes.
that's good.
That's what I downloaded.
All right, great. So team, back to showing you how to do it. AnyAUT.com. Click on your download desktop app. It'll take you to the GitHub URL for AnyAUT. And you basically are clicking on the code and downloading the zip. Once you
Oops.
get, mhm,
I'm sorry. Can you I got lost.
sure, I'll go back to this. So let's go to AnyAUT.com.
Okay. Let me get there. Come on, my mouse won't work. Okay.
ANYAUT.com. You'll see kind of a pinkish button, download
AnyAUT.
desktop app.
Oops.
Team, are you all with me on the same?
Not
There's a
yet.
lot you can learn on this, so I want you to get going to that too.
Automate any application under any test.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
Scroll
think
a
I have the right
little.
URL. I just have
ANY,
AnyUAT automate any application under test. Is that the
that's
link to
correct.
click? There we are. Okay, now I've got it. Okay. And click download app.
Desktop app, yep.
Okay. Oh
Does
yeah.
it take us to GitHub?
Yes.
Okay. Do you see the green button called code, like
Yes.
you see on my screen?
Mm-hmm.
Click on that. You'll see a drop down coming. Click on the download zip.
Mm-hmm.
This is about 170 MB file. Will take a few minutes. So team, now look back at my screen and see what I am doing. And I would want you to do the same at your end, please. So once you download it, you'll have this folder called Runner Master. I've copied that, unzipped it and copied it. And I put it into any folder in C drive. Nothing to install, just get this folder within which you have your AnyAUT runner. So I'll go to this main folder out here, everyone. So typically when we write our automation tests, we either write in VB script or C# or Python or Java or JavaScript and so on. Then there is something called as a BDD ATDD. where we can write as Gherkin language, which is more human generated. Here we're writing a test in a Excel format, or we have a web front end for the same. So you all will also be creating on AnyAUT.com/test. I'm already out of time for today. I'll do this tomorrow for you there. AnyAUT.com/test. Let me put this in a few places.
Didn't we download this one
Chat.
already?
Yeah, you can click on download. Let it
No, isn't
start
this one we
downloading.
did already?
We did, so I was not sure if you did it or not.
Yeah, we
Since you
did.
asked
We
me
did it,
again.
and you said create a folder called AA.
Yes, that's good. So
That's
that's
what
what
this
it
one
is.
is,
Right.
correct?
Yes.
Okay, because it's still run master.
hmm
Okay, so while
Now
we,
I'll come to you, Laurie. Give me a sec. Give me a
okay,
minute,
no
please.
problem, no problem.
Sure. So team, here is what it is all about. What I want to test on the UI, I will be able to put that out here in an Excel sheet, all the details. How do we put those details in which sheet we will talk about in the next session? But creating the same tests, I can also do it on my web UI. I can go and enter details about an application, or I can create a test case here, or I can add test steps or any other details that I want. And I can create an Excel out of it. So there are two ways for you to create and maintain automation UI tests. That's through Excel sheet or through this UI. Now, your downloaded application, I'm going to open two versions of it. This is what I'm doing, team. I've opened it once by double clicking on that AnyAUT.jar in your folder. I will double click that again. So you'll see there are two instances currently open. Okay. I'll leave the details as is for the first one. It by default will select demo.xls. For the second window, I'm just saying demo underscore errors. So I believe we've put some errors in this. I think it's just one error, not errors. I'll just say error.xls. That's the other file. So my automation details as to what to do is pointed in that Excel. And I'll just click on execute automation test here. I'll do the same here. So I've started two executions simultaneously as of now. Each of this should be able to do their own independent tests. See, there's one browser, there's the other browser. Whatever are the details of it, that's running. Now, this test is all running on Chrome. You can change it to Firefox also. I showed you this last time. If you're not sure, you see there's a set of data for Firefox. So all I need to do is come to my test cases and say whatever I'm executing. So let's say this I want to enable editing. Test cases sheet. I want you to be capable to do this basic execution and look at the results, team. Then we will build. So this is Chrome, Firefox. This I'll say is only Firefox. And I'll save the sheet as underscore FF. Now both those tests are completed. We've executed two tests. Now, if it's the first time, you will see that there was nothing called log results or report or test output. That would have got generated these folders after your first execution. Then you double click on results. And I
We
did.
can't see anything because your Ultra Zip is in the way.
Oh, one second. I don't see where is my ultra zip. I don't see
It's
anything.
blocking everything. Mm,
Let me minimize
Zip.
everything.
Let's see, let me see if that's mine. That might be mine.
Are you able to see, team?
Yes.
Are we on the results folder?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, great. So in fact, there's a challenge here. It only created one results folder because both had the same test names. But otherwise, you will get your reports and you can drill down and see exactly what the issue is anywhere and be able to identify what has happened with the application. I want you all to be able to execute and look at this results, team. Tomorrow we'll build on this. We'll
No,
take
I got
an
lost on
application
this because
check.
I don't have any UAT jar. I just have AnyAUT executable jar file. That's what you done. That's what you opened.
Okay. All right. Let me make a presenter.
Okay. Let me bring mine over. And you click on this. This is
Double
my
click on
jar.
it. Yeah. Are you getting any?
There it is.
Look at that.
There it is. I think that's it.
No, the one besides. Yeah.
Okay.
No, 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 no.
Zip for
Why is it?
free.
No,
I
no.
don't know.
It's trying to unzip. Because of very simple thing. You have not
Hmm.
unzipped it. Go back to
Oh,
your AA folder.
I'm here.
Yeah.
This is the zip. This is
Okay.
unzipped.
Click on the zipped version. I'm not sure what you did. Right click on it. Open with System Explorer or Windows Explorer. Click on this runner master. Do a Control C. Copy this.
Got it. Control
Now,
C.
now let's go back to AA. You can delete the old one.
All right.
And Control V now after that.
Yes.
If you don't unzip it, it still tries to perform that action.
I
So it
thought it
does.
unzipped because that's why my unzip thing didn't
Mm,
work. So I got that free one.
sure. So let's try this now.
Okay. Thank you.
Anyone else team having challenges or stuck anywhere till there? Palak? I muted you.
Hey, Karthik, how are you?
Good, thank you.
Uh, I'm I'm following you from so many years. Just quick question.
Yes, please.
This webinar, this is first day for me. I did not know actually the emails came into my inbox, but I did not know since I was a bit busy. So today is only the first day
Sure.
started, and since I know any AUT, the first time you introduce, and then after I think 3 years, I'm coming back
Mhm,
because the organization where I'm working, we are
mhm,
looking for the tools,
mhm,
which is codeless tools, and the organization is a very big bank. Just
mhm.
currently, I don't want to enclose that name, but
Sure.
just to let you know, like this is the big organization, so we're looking for some tools. We have so many. We have UFT, we used to have QTP. Currently the hybrid version we are using with the Studio Selenium, LeanFT, but we want to go for something codeless, so
Sure.
I thought of just go into the AnyAUT.
Mhm.
So I'm on right time, I guess. So currently you are starting with the AnyAUT demo. Uh, so hoping for to see you further. But what about the last 5 days I lost? Do you have any recorded video?
Sure. Okay, yes. Thank you, Palak, first of all. And there's a lot of codeless tools that are coming up in the market. So I will guide
Yeah.
you with the series of them. AnyAUT, of course, I know the capabilities and what we can do. Though it's
Yep.
codeless, when you want to open coding, you can do some phenomenal things. That's the
Okay.
advantage with AnyAUT.
Yep.
The things like Cucumber, Karate, robot framework is there, but again, how much can we achieve? What all do we want to achieve from overall test coverage for continuous
Yep.
testing is
Yep.
critical. So
Yes.
um,
So
I pinned
basically,
you my
yeah,
phone
sure, you
number
can pick.
also on the side,
Sure,
and
sure,
then you
sure.
can connect with me. Now,
Yep.
what about the missed session? So you didn't miss much, but let me guide you. Laurie, if you don't mind, can you visit go.it learn on your machine while you're doing that?
But what?
Can you? Okay, let me make myself the presenter.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. So, Palak, you can go to that new website, go.itlearn.com, please.
Yep.
And if you go to all courses,
Okay.
you'll see manual crowd testing for UI, API, and mobile apps. This is the one that's going right now.
Correct.
So we finished 2 sessions in it,
Okay.
installing Postman and AnyAUT. And we did basic. Today is the 3rd one.
Okay.
The other series of webinars are more on technical mock interviews for
Yep.
JPAC members. So where we're
Yep.
doing GitHub and so on. All
Yep.
these are there in the website.
Okay. Got it. And one more question. So this crowd testing webinar, this is the 7-week, right? 7-week webinar, the long one.
Yes, but it is the first 2 weeks that we're doing some basic manual, going through UI API basics, fundamentals.
Yep.
Then we'll go deep into these topics for the next
Okay.
5 weeks.
Okay. Understand. So is this completely free for all the 6 weeks or just for the 1 week?
Only for the 2 weeks, and then it's for the members.
Okay, got it. No problem. Thank you for the information, and we'll connect tomorrow.
Sure. All right, Palak.
Yep. No worries. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
All right, team. So I'm running late for the other session as well. So get going with AnyAUT, unzip it, and make sure you're able to put it. Laurie, I don't know how far you've come, but
Yeah,
let's
it's
check it tomorrow,
done, and
please.
I'm at AnyAUT, and now I see the.
Let me.
This should be unzipped now. AnyAUT.
And
Show my
also, team,
screen.
letting you know, there is a
It's still
command
trying to
prompt
unzip
batch
it.
file also. Why would it still go there? Why is
I
this
don't
open?
know.
You copied and pasted, right? Show
You
me your
saw it,
Windows
yeah.
Explorer.
You saw it.
Yeah,
And then when I clicked here, it's still zipped.
that's strange. Now do me a favor, open any of those text. Do you see demo run just below, little below
Let
that?
me close this.
No,
Yeah, demo run. I think I opened that one before.
because this is a batch file of the Windows command.
Windows
Yeah.
protected you
So say
don't
more
want.
info here
Okay.
and say run
Run
anyway.
anyway. Yeah.
Mhm. So it's trying to run the same anyaunt.jar through demo.xls. Now it should launch.
Okay, should I? All right.
Yeah, but then I wasn't sure why it didn't do
Why it didn't
the
unzip?
double click launch for you.
Yeah.
And where is the browser? It's running the test. I don't know where your browser is. Okay, now it's launching. Yeah. Okay, so we'll look into
No,
this tomorrow.
not secure data. Chrome is being controlled by Automate. There we go. Now I've
That's
got
good.
it.
Yeah.
So what are we supposed to do from here?
From here, so whatever commands you gave in the Excel sheet is what we're doing here. So we'll come back tomorrow
And
to see how we can modify the Excel sheet and change our commands or automate any new application.
where is my Excel sheet? In this auto jar
Yes, so your demo
or any
and demo
AUT?
underscore error.
Pardon me?
Just below that, demo and demo underscore error, please.
Demo error?
Yeah, so those two are your
Oh,
Excel sheets currently.
I see. Thank you. Now I
So
see
for
their Excel.
different clients, different projects, all we have is a different Excel sheet.
Okay. And you want us to do what with these?
Nothing for now for
Okay.
me. Just you can go through. I'll see you tomorrow on that.
Okay. Thank you so very much. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Have a nice evening.
You too.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, team. And please just get your hands onto all of these things, and I will see you back tomorrow. We'll continue from there.
Okay.
Thank you,
Uh,
Thank
Karthik.
you.
Good night.
Thank you. I'm starting the JPAC session, team. I'm sorry I'm late for it. I'll start it right away. Thank you. Bye.
Thanks,
Okay.
Karthik.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, team. Thank you all. Bye.
Thank you.